basically what they expect from you so that you can provide them some of the. So let's discuss about forms. So we were talking about forms. Why do we actually create forms? Some of the times we actually need some of the inputs from the user. So various times you must have seen these days people are creating some feedback forms and they are giving it to you like they are saying some survey forms. So basically what they expect from you so that you can provide them some of the inputs, and it can be in the form of anything. Sometimes like how you actually see some of the survey forms. So some of the times it is like they will give you enter your gender, and when it is gender, when they ask you for the gender, how it is actually there, they provide you some like this for the selection. At one place it is going to be F, it is another place it is going to be F. So what these ones are known as, these ones are called as radio buttons. And what is the meaning of radio buttons? That at one time you can select only one input. Sometimes they will give you to ask to select something like, let us say, uh, languages. So it can be English, Hindi, French, anything, right? And here they will be giving you some check boxes. And then you can actually select more than one options for that. So I'm just telling you what and all basic scenarios can be there. And what is the basic thing which they can ask you, that okay, you enter your name, you enter your age, you enter your address, and then they will have some submit button. So these are the various forms of creating a web form, right? But at the same time you should be knowing what and all things you can actually use. And like here, just by writing it down on a piece of paper is actually easier, but if you will have to perform the similar operation in the form of HTML, you will be actually requiring various tags and how you will be using it. So, if you actually have to create any form, so what you will be doing, you're going to take various elements, and what and all those elements are going to be there. Now I will be speaking about that one after the another. So one is label, second one is input, then we have text area, after that we have button, then we have select, then we have option, and then we have our field set. All right. So these are the various things which we are going to have here. So what is the label? So if you will see what we are doing, we are saying, okay, you enter your name. All right. So what this particular thing is going to do, this is nothing but a label. So label is going to be nothing but a readable text which you are going to see on your screen. All right. Now we have input. So what is this input is going to be doing here? So input is actually going to allow the user to provide their input to that particular form, and it can be in the form of anything. So your input type can be in the form of text, in the form of checkbox, in the form of radio buttons, email, password, text, anything. So that is how you can provide various input types. Then we have text area. So you must have observed sometimes we just have to provide a long text. Probably like, sometimes you just have to provide your address. In such a case, you need a bigger text box. So usually if you will see for name, like this they are going to provide you, but for address they are going to provide you such a big text box. Why it is like that? That is because your address is going to take up a lot of space. So considering that, they will be providing you a bigger text area where you can provide it. Then next one we have your button. What is a button? So you must be aware about how a button is actually, because we actually do a lot of operations on our web pages and all, right? So those ones are known as buttons. And when we have to provide any button, it can be given a name. So let us say you want to log in, and on that particular button you just want to have something like login, or sometimes you just are setting your passwords. In such a case, for that particular case, you just want to have a text for your button as set, reset, forget password, anything. So that is how you can set a text for your button. Then the next one which we have is our select. So you know what select is going to do, how the English word of select is there. select means, let us say I have various pens with me. I will say select a pen. So what you are going to do, from that bunch, you are going to select one. Similarly, here, what a select is going to do, it is going to create a drop down list. And from that drop down list, you can actually select the desired input. So you must have seen for city, some of the times they just provide you a drop down list, right? That okay, like this it is going to be there, and then from this you can select, like it will have options like Delhi, Agra, Bangalore, Hyderabad, something like this. Okay, so from this list you can select in which city you are going to be there. Then the next one which we have is option. So you know what option is going to do, like this English word means, it is going to provide you various options to choose from. So like I was saying, if you have your gender, so in such a case you are going to be there provided with two options. From that you have to select one. Or if it is going to be like, I was talking about languages, so in that one they are going to provide you certain options to choose from. So that is how this option is going to be there. And then we have field set. So what is the meaning of field set? If you really want to club all your fields together at one place, in such a case, what this field set is going to do, field set is going to draw a box around it. So like here, I actually drew a box when I was drawing these two forms, but in this case, I didn't drew a form, drew a rectangle. If you really want, what you can do, you can use the field set property. And if you are using your field set, what is going to happen? In such a case, a box is going to come around it. That is how field set is going to work. Now, since I'm not discussing all these things in detail, that is because we already have a question to address, and those in that particular question, we will be seeing what and all things we can use in order to have that output. So, what I will do, I'll come to the slide. So, this is what we actually require here, and now we will see what and all things we can do in order to actually create a form which is exactly similar to what we have here. All right. So I told you, like what I will be doing in this case, you just have to see what and all things are there. So on the top, you can see it is writing class survey form. And if you can observe, this is bold and this is a bigger text. What does it mean? It means it is going to be heading, probably heading 1. Since they are not mentioning any font size here, any heading size here, so you have all the flexibility to choose anything from. You can just provide something similar to what we have here. All right. Then in the second line, what we are seeing something written as full stack development. And with this full stack development, you can see some codes are there. So now we will go back to our Visual Studio Code and we will just try to replicate these two lines there. All right. So what I will do, I'll just get rid of everything here. Okay. So you can see the moment I saved it here, it has reflected here as well, right? So first of all, I'm going to use doc type. Then I'm going to use HTML. So doc type is going to tell the type of the page to the browser, that it is going to be HTML page. Then whatever things you want to include in your HTML document, everything is going to be there within this HTML tag. Now after that, you have to provide head. So what head is going to do? Head is going to provide metadata. All right. Now, inside head, what do we have to specify? We have to specify some title here. So since this one is going to have the information for a class survey, so what I will do, I'm just going to provide it a title of survey form probably. Okay. So now, what I will be providing to this, I'm going to provide some body here. So now you can see the survey form is reflecting here, and since I have not put anything, that is why nothing is getting reflected there. Now after that, what I want to put, if you remember, what was the first two lines? First one was some heading which was having text class survey form. So for that, I'm going to use heading 1 and I'm going to write class survey form. Okay, so now you can see it is displaying here. Correct. After that, what was the second statement which was written? So the second statement actually had full stack development, and that was in capital letters, plus it was having some quotes on the top, right? So if you really want to do that, first of all, if you remember yesterday, I was talking about something like divs. So what div is going to do? Div is going to create some division, some sections it is going to create on your web page. So we are going to use div in order to create that particular section. So whatever we discussed in the theory, everything we are going to use here. All right. So in this div, what I want to do, I want to put something like full stack development. So now if you will see, is it actually coming in the quotations? No. So if I'm going to put it like this, is it going to work? Yes. But is it still actually coming like how we had here? Answer is no. So if you really want to make it in that form, what you can do, we have a tag for the same, and that is q. What this q tag is going to do, this one is going to, like whatever text you are going to print inside it, it is going to print it into quotation. So now if you can see, your text is actually getting printed in the quotation. So you can say, if I was able to insert it directly by putting some quotation like this, so what was the need of having this quotation tag? So the answer is, if you are going to directly insert some quotation, in some of the cases it may work, in some of the cases it may create some of the issues. So as to avoid all those, what is the best thing to do? Use tags if you want to achieve something. Like that way you will actually get rid of a lot of mistakes. Now if we will come back here, so what was it? It was actually in italics, and after that you can see we have one line, and after that line what do we have? It is writing, it is, this is a survey form to understand the knowledge base of the learners prior to the starting of the class. So now I will try to make three things. First one is to make it in italics, then to insert one straight line, then to write this text there. All right, so let us come back. So in order to make it italics, I told you what we can use. We have your I tag. So with the help of I tag, you can actually make it in italics. Now you can see it is actually coming like how I really wanted it to be. All right. So what I want after this particular division, I want a straight line like how it was there. So what I will do, where this division is ending, I will be using HR tag. So what does this HR is going to do? This one is going to create one line in the horizontal direction. That is how it was there, right? After this, what was there? It actually wrote some text. So for that particular one, what I will do, I will be using a paragraph text. In the paragraph text, whatever you are going to write, it is going to come in the same form. And this is what we discussed yesterday, right? So here I will write, this is a survey form to understand the knowledge base of the learners prior to the starting of the class. So this is how it is going to come. Alright, after this, what do we want? If we will save, you can see it is printing here. Now we will come back here. What we can see it is actually creating a form. In that form, what it is asking us to enter, firstly, some heading is there, that is learner info. After that, what is there? Some name, age, and phone number. So we will go back there and we will try to replicate this particular part. So what we will be doing now, we are going to create some form. And whenever we create any form, we have to provide some action to it. So what is the action, meaning of action here? So when you are going to submit your form, where do you want to be there? So like if we'll take the example of Gmail which we took earlier. So what happens when you click on the login, then you see another page where you can see all your mails, plus you can see some of your chats there, something like that. Okay, so here if you are going to submit that form, where do you want to be? If you want to be on the same page, what you will do, you're just going to put a slash there. If you want to be on some other page, you're going to provide page of that path. Okay, so here I'm going to provide form action, and here I'm going to provide a slash. So what this one is going to do, after you are clicking, it is going to be here only. All right. After this, what I want to do, so we have two methods. One is get, another one is post. So what is this? So some of the times if you have seen, when you are going to submit any of the form, you just observe the address bar. So you know what happens? Whatever you are, whatever input you are going to do there, everything is going to get on the address bar. And in some of the cases, it doesn't go. So if you're entering a password, do you really want it to be there on the address bar? Answer is no. But if you're entering some of the information like name and all, if it is going on the address bar, it doesn't make a difference. So you can say why to actually have something in the address bar. Just get rid of all those and just hide everything. So answer is no. Some of the times what happens, when we have to retrieve some information, we retrieve it using the address bar. So in such cases, having some information in the address bar is important. But like I said, if you are entering some confidential data like your card information and all, so those ones you do not want it in the address bar. So in such cases, what you can do, just avoid going for it and just avoid putting all your information in the address bar. And how we can achieve it here? So we have two methods. One is going to be get, another one is going to be post. So get is going to put everything in the address bar, post is going to hide everything from the address bar. All right, so here I'm using get. Now inside that, if you remember, we had something like learners information, right? So for that one, I'm going to create some heading. You can create any heading level because they didn't mention anything there, right? So I will be providing something like learner information, and after that, what I want to have some division. So now if you can see, this learner information is coming, right? Also, like, let me show you there. You can see all this is actually, like, this one is truncated because of the screenshot thing, but if you can see, all these are actually enclosed within one rectangular box. And I told you, if you really want to achieve something similar, what do you have to use? I just discussed, that is field set. So what we will be doing, we are going to create a division for the same, and that division I'm going to enclose in field set. All right, so what we will be doing, I'll use one div. So this division is actually going to contain all the information about that form, and all that I'm going to enclose within field set. Okay. Now inside that, if you remember, we have three fields to input. What I will do, I'll use a table, and table I have already discussed. All right. So what I will be doing with that table, I will be just entering all my data here. So I told you, if you really want to have a table, you are going to put it in the table tag. Then what you will be doing, you have to use some tr. So what tr is going to do, this one is going to create a row in your table. Now after creating a row, what you are actually concerned about, creating cells in that row. So in order to create cells, what I will be using, we are going to use something like td. So if you will say, you can actually see just a rectangular box, nothing else, because we have not entered anything here. Now inside this td, what I want to put a label which is going to say name, because I want to have some name field, right? So for that, what we will be doing, we are going to use label. In this label, I'm going to say label for. So what is this for is going to do? So this one is just providing a name. So if I want to provide, like, let us say I am providing a label here, obviously that field is going to be there, like some person is going to enter some data there, right? And later on, if I want to access it, how I can do, I can access it through this name. So here I will be providing something like f name, like first name. All right, or you can like anything you can actually provide. Now after this, what I want to have, I want to have some text which is going to say name. When I have saved, you can see it is coming here. And this for is actually going to help you when you really want to access it somewhere outside. Okay, so this is something which is going to be there in one cell. In the second one, what I want to do, I really want to have a placeholder where it is going to have that text. And for that one, what I will be doing, I will be creating another td, means it is going to create another cell. inside that I told you we are going to have various input types, and these input types are used when you have to take input from the user. So in this input, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, input type is going to be text. All right, now let us save. So you can see next to name, you actually got a text box here, right? Now, if you actually come here, you can see this one is actually writing some text within here. And this also you have seen, right? It actually says enter your name. And the moment you enter your name, everything is actually hidden from there. So if you want to achieve the same, what we will be doing, so here we are going to use a property that is placeholder. So what this placeholder is going to do, this one is going to print that text. So let us say I'm writing enter your name. Sorry, if I will save, you can see it is coming here. And the moment you are going to write something, you can see everything is going to get hidden, and only that part you can see. The moment you are clearing it off, you can again see enter your name. So this is how we have created it for name. Let us create it for age. So in one row, I just wanted name and the text for the name. Now I'm going to create another row, and in this row, what I want to provide, I want to create one label for age. So inside a table row, I created a table cell, and here I will be saying label for. And here let us say I am providing something like age. And if I will save, you can see next one is coming here. After that, what I want to enter the age. So if you are providing any text box as just text, so like here what we did, input type was text. So here if you want, you can actually put some numbers, you can put some text, you can put anything there. But if you want to make your input type that it should contain only numbers, what you can do, you can give your input type as number. So you must have observed in some of the forms, some of the places, like when you have to input your phone number, if you try to enter a text, it gives error or it doesn't allow you to enter there. So all that you can handle here. So what we will be doing, we are going to create another table cell, and in this table cell what we will do, we are going to create input type as number. And after providing the input type as number, what you will be doing, this has created a field, right? So here if you will see, I am actually typing some numbers, but it is not taking it, and it is actually giving us some range. So why it is coming like that, that is because I made it as number type. Again, it is not having that text enter your age. So if you want to add it, what you can do, use placeholder, and here you can say enter your age. Now you can see it is showing enter your age, right? What the next field was, that was phone number. If you want to add phone number, what you will do, you are going to create another table row, and inside this I'm going to create a cell, and that cell is going to have a label, and that one we can actually give like label for P number, for phone number, right? And here I can say phone number. So you can see phone number got inserted. If I want to have a field for the phone number as well, the input type, it has to be what to say, number type, right? So we are going to have tr, sorry, td, and here, and here in the placeholder, what I will do, I will write enter your phone number. All right, the moment you are saving it, you can see that is how it is coming. You cannot see the entire thing, that is because I have minimized it. If you, I will maximize, you can see it is displaying properly. All right, now let us come back here. you can see what is the next thing which we have after having this box. What do we have? We have one horizontal line, and after the horizontal line it is actually asking us to print what is your favorite uh, web language. So now what we will be doing, we will go back there so that we can add these fields. So this is where your div was ending, and this div was actually for this learner info, correct? So after this div, what I will do, I'm just going to add one horizontal line. So the moment I'm going to save it, you can see one horizontal line is coming after that. Then what I will do, I just want to create a list. And what does this list is going to do? So this list is going to have some various information. So I'll actually come here. We have some list. So for the list, we have two types of list. One is unordered list, and one is ordered list. So how it is actually going to be there? So you must have seen some of the times it actually shows information like select um, language. That only I'll take, okay? So how it is going to be there? Let us say it is saying C sharp, WPF, C++, something it is giving. And it is actually giving you names like this. So in this case, since you already have an order, so this one is called as ordered list. If you want to have something like, you must have seen some bulleted points, like if you want to have this one, what you will be doing in such a case, you are just going to use bullets, and since with the help of these bullets you cannot order them, so this one is actually called as unordered list. All right, so now I will be creating one list for you where you can see how the values are actually getting created. So what you will be doing, if you want to create any ordered list or anything, so if you remember in that one there was no order, right? So what I will do, I will create one list, and after that in that one I'm going to create one li. So what does it mean? It means I'm creating one list of items, and inside that I have my list items. So inside this list items, what I will be doing, I will be first of all providing a text, and that text is going to be, please select your favorite web language, whatever was there, okay? So please select your favorite web language. After doing this, you can see it is coming like this. And why this is actually coming into this picture, I will show you the text again. So this is ordered, right? 1, 2 and 3. So that is the reason I'm taking ordered list. And inside this, if this is going to be there, so this is nothing but selecting an option. So this is nothing but having checkboxes, right? So we will go back and create checkboxes for the same. So if you want to create checkboxes, what we will be doing, we are going to create one div, and that div is is only going to be there for all the checkboxes which you will be creating. So why are we using various divs here? So what is the advantage of creating divs? Since it is actually going to segregate all these sections together. So later on, if you just want to apply some stylings on one div, at one place only you can set all the properties and you can change the look and feel. So it is actually going to help you out in the in that process. All right, so here what I will be doing, I'm going to write input type as checkbox. After creating this input type, what I will do, I'm just going to provide all the languages which were there. So what and all were there? HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's come back. So firstly, I want to create one for HTML. So we have to provide the ID, but this ID is going to be there. So just selecting is not going to make a difference. Later on, you have to just store these values somewhere, or you just have to do some action corresponding to this form. So there it is going to get stored with the help of this ID. That is why this ID is important. Okay. Then we are going to provide some uh, name to it. So let us say I'm going to provide it some name like HTML only. Then I want to provide it some value. So what this ID is going to do, this one is going to uniquely identify, and name is nothing but just providing a name. Like obviously in a room of people, if you want to call out a person, you will be calling it out with the help of its name, right? So that is how it is going to be there. And then what is this value? Value is nothing but you are going to see some text on the screen. So you are going to see it with this value. So now if I will save, you can see this is coming. Uh, it is coming, but it is not reflecting this HTML. One second. So we have input type, we are providing ID, we are providing some value. Yes, we have to provide a label as well. So what is happening with this? We have just created a checkbox. Now for the HTML, what we will have to do? We will have to provide one label for it. So after that, what I will do, I'm just going to create a label, and that is going to be for HTML. And here, let me provide some text to it. So if I'm providing some text, you can see next to the checkbox, you can see a label there. Correct. Now after this, what do I want? I want to have another line. In that another line, what I want to have something like CSS. Then in the another line, what I want JavaScript. So what I will be doing here, I'm just going to provide break. So what is break going to do? It is actually going to bring the cursor to the next line. In this, what I will be doing, I'm going to create an input type. Again, it is going to be of checkbox type. And here I'm going to provide some ID, let us say CSS. Then I'm going to provide a name, let us say CSS. And then I'm going to provide value. So, you do not have to get confused with this value. This is not something which is going to be displayed, but the value is going to be, which is going to be in corresponding to this checkbox, right? So here, if I'm providing the thing which you are going to see here, this is coming purely from label. Okay. So after this, I'm going to insert a label. And here let me add some text. So the moment I saved it, you can see it is displaying CSS there. Now the next one which I will be creating here is going to be for JavaScript. So I'm going to create a BR because I want to move to the next line. Then another input type checkbox. Then ID is going to be JavaScript. Name is going to be JavaScript. Value is going to be JavaScript. And after this, I'm going to add a label for it. If I will save, you can see even the JavaScript is coming into the picture. So if you will come back there, let us see what do we have after this. So after that, they are saying what is the name of your computer science degree. So if you will see, this was the first item of your list. This is going to be the second item of your list because it is having that name. So in this, what do we want? We want in one line a question. In the second line, I want a text box, right? So let us come back and let us try to create something for the same. So here, this list item is actually representing this entire thing. If I want to add another one, what I will do, where this list item is ending, there only I'm going to create another list item. And this one is going to have, like in the form of paragraph, I will be putting that question that was, what is the name of your computer science degree? Correct. If I will save, you can see in the second point, it is reflecting like that. Now after this, what I want to have some input type where you are going to provide your text. So what you can do here, you can provide break, and here you can do input type as text. And what this one is going to do, this one is going to actually store your college name. So I'm giving it one ID that is going to have some college name. Okay. So the moment I'm closing it, you can see it is coming here. If you will observe, we have lots of empty space, but in the screenshot, there was no empty space. Why it is happening? Because when we create a paragraph and we end it, automatically it sets the cursor to the next line. And here, if you will see, I am setting it again with the help of break tag. That is why we can see two empty spaces. That is the reason why I put it there, and this was important to put, otherwise you will not have seen the difference. So if you want to get rid of that empty space, just remove the break tag. Now you can see it has actually shifted up. That is how you wanted it to be there, right? Now let us come back here. What is the third thing which we have here? That is, how will you rate yourself for the following languages? So you must have seen questions like this, right? And where you have some check boxes, where not check boxes, radio buttons where you can pick one. So what is the meaning of radio button? Radio button are something in which you can just pick one at a time. So why are we using radio buttons for these languages? That is because here, if you will see, we have various levels. So it is either going to be one level or it is going to be the another level. You cannot select more than one level, correct? So that is why for these ones, that is how I'm going to create there. So now I'm going to create another item. That one is going to ask you a question. How will you rate yourself for the following languages? Okay, so let us come back. So now after this list item is ending, I'm going to create another list item, and that list item is going to ask us this question. How will you rate yourself for the following languages? So if you will save, you can see the third point is also coming here like this. Now after having this third point, what do we have to do? For all that representation where you had some radio buttons and everything, if you want to have something similar here, what you can do, you can create a table, and with the help of table, like table was actually one of my favorite thing when I started working on HTML, because table actually gives you a very well defined structure. So it is actually easier for us to use it as compared to the another types. Otherwise the alignment is going to differ, but in the case of table it is actually going to be very well formed. So here I'm going to create another one table. We have already created one, right? For this name, age, and phone number. Inside this, I'm going to create one tr. And there, if you observed, the top part was actually having some bold heading. So if you remember, I discussed if you want to provide such a heading, what you can do inside this table row, instead of having cells, what you can do, you can create table headers. And how you can create table headers? With the help of th. So in the th, what I will be doing, I'm just going to provide the various levels. So what and all levels were there? It was like new, then basic level, medium level, advanced level, correct? So let us come back. So here I'm going to create in the table header, first is going to be new. So the moment I have saved new, you can see it is reflecting in the bold letters, because this is something which is in the regular one, correct? Now I'm going to create another table header which is going to be basic level. If you will save, you can see again it is coming in the bold letter. If you want to create another one, what you will do, that was medium level. If you will save, you can see it is reflecting there. If you want to have another table header, that was advanced. If you will save, you can see it is coming like this. Now after having all these things, what do we want in the next row? How do we want the information to be there? If we will come here, in the first one, it is actually giving some text, correct? Then in the remaining ones, we have some radio button, correct? So let us come back. So here I'm going to create a table row. In this table row, what is the first thing which I will be doing? I want to create one row, and in that particular one, I just want to add the first language, that is HTML. Okay, so you have two ways of entering that. First is you can directly put some value here, like let us say HTML, and you can see it is getting reflected there. Another is by using label. Up to you, since we are already using tables, we do not actually require to use it with the help of table. You can directly put it in the table cell. But if you will observe, this HTML is coming under new. Why it is happening? Because when we create any table, it actually follows the same structure. So if you want to have a blank before HTML, because these are going to be the various levels, right? So what you will do, you are going to create one empty tag. So what is the advantage of having empty tag? Now you can see it has created one empty space here. And why it is helpful? Because we didn't actually want to have something on the top of HTML, or sometimes you just want to add some text like languages. So such a text you can enter there. Alright, so in the HTML you have created your like in this table row you have created your text, that is HTML. Now for the remaining one, what do you want to enter? You want to enter some radio button, right? So here I'm going to create another table cell, and in this table cell what I'm going to add, I'm going to add some input type, and that is going to be of type radio. All right, so now you can see it is coming there, correct? But for this one again we have to provide some name to it. So let me provide some name. That is going to be, since this one is going to be new, so I will be providing new HTML, like some meaningful name we have to provide, right? And then what is going to be the value for the same? So it is going to be same, I will be providing new HTML. All right. Now after providing this, what is the next thing which we will have to do? We have to do the same thing for other ones as well. All right. So I'm going to quickly create TDs for the another levels as well. So here I'm going to use again same code, input type as radio, then some name we are going to provide, and some value. If you are going to save, you can see another radio button there on the screen. Now I want to have some for medium level and advanced level. And if you are getting confused with this structure, what you can do, just provide a border to your table, and then it is going to come well defined. And I told you how you can add a border. Here you can provide something like border, and then just provide a value. If I'm going to save, you can see now it is coming in the well-defined structure. So up to you, how do you really want it to do? And front end is something which is very, very interesting, because you are going to be the in charge of each and everything. So just play around with your code, do mix and match, and howsoever you want it to be there, you can just modify it. Okay. Since I'm actually sticking to how the UI is going to be there in the screenshot, so I'm getting rid of the border. Now what I want to create another cell for the medium level. So here it is going to be radio. Then medium, HTML, and then we will have some value. Now we need to create one for the advanced level as well. Now you can see we got one for that as well. Correct? And when we create a table, we can actually provide some alignment. So by default, everything is going to be left aligned. So if you can see, everything is left aligned. If you want to provide it some alignment, what you can do, just you set the alignment for the same, or you can put it into some center tab. then also it is going to work out for you. So it's up to you. Like again, for achieving various things, we have various approaches available. Now I will be quickly creating it for another two languages, that is CSS and JavaScript. So I'm going to create another tr here. You know what I will be doing? I'm just going to copy paste it so as to save time. So here what I want to put CSS. If I'm saving, you can see it is coming there. And here at all the places, I'm just going to provide a new name. Here I forgot to add value. Yeah. Now what I will be doing, I have to create one for the JavaScript as well. So I'm just going to copy paste it entirely. You can see by copy pasting, we actually got the same line inserted. If I want to change it, here I will be changing to JavaScript. So everywhere I'm just modifying it. I actually do not suggest people to copy paste, but here so as to save time I'm doing. And you know why beginners should not be doing copy paste? That is because you are doing it for the first time, and in such a case you may make mistakes, since we all are experienced and we have done it quite a lot of times. So even if we are making mistake, it will be easier for us to figure it out. But for the new people, it is going to be difficult. So always avoid that. Okay. And at the end, what do you see? You see a button which is named as submit. So what we will do after this, I really want to create, like after this list is ending, I really want to create a button. And you know, if you, one thing which you really want to consider, that is this button should be there inside this form, then only this is going to work for this form. It is going to be outside, it is not going to work for this given form. So here what I want to make my button type as submit. To this, I want to give a form. So what is the form? Let us say I'm giving it as form 1. Then I want to provide some value to it. So what was written on the button? That was submit. So that is how I am providing it. And at the end, whatever text you want to see on your button. So how it was there, S was capital, remaining were small. So that is how I have written here. So you can see the submit button is coming here. So this is how you can actually create your survey form. And like I was saying, here you can provide some data to your form, and then when you are going to do submit, it is going to get appended here. So you have seen, even if I'm clicking on submit, it is not going anywhere. That is because when I was creating the form, I actually put this one here, right? Form action. So what this action is going to do, this one is going to keep you on the same page. So I will actually reiterate what and all things we have done. We created one HTML document. Inside that, we provided a title that is coming there, right? Then we provided a heading. Then I created a division. Inside that, I wanted my text to be in quotes and italics. So that is why I'm using these two tags. Then for drawing a straight line, but horizontal line, what I will do, I will be using HR. Then whatever things you want to add it there, add it in the paragraph text. Then from here, your form is actually starting. Inside this, if you want to have a rectangular box across your form, or wherever the field, what you can do, just enclose that in the field set. Then inside that, I created one table entering the information. If you want to have some text box with some by default text in it, what you can do, not by default text, some text which is going to disappear once you are going to enter there, something that you can do with the help of placeholder. All right. Then later on, what we have select web languages, and those ones were actually ordered like 1, 2, 3, right? So for that, I have used OL. If it was unordered list, what you would have used UL. I will be quickly showing you one example on UL as well here. So let us say I am creating UL. Inside this, I want to add my list item. So let us say I am adding list item as, let us say, ABC only, okay? Because just for an example. All right. Then in the next one, let me add B. Then in the next example, let me add C. So these ones are not like, do not get confused at why it is coming like this. So this is not actually, this is actually coming the bullets, and this is the text which I have given. It can be any text, right? And sometimes you see nested lists. So what you can do inside this, if you want to create some, you know, here only, like let us say after this C, I want to create another one which is going to be nested. So how I can do that? So after C, if you really want to add, what you can do here, you can add, like let us say I want to add another unordered list, and here I'm doing AA. So you can see this is becoming sub, like you must have seen when we cover any topic. So we have headings and then we have subheadings and so on, right? If I will paste it more number of times, this is how you can see it here, correct? If like next question is, can we have mixture of two lists? Like, is it necessary that if it is unordered list, the sub list has to be unordered? Answer is no. It is up to you. If you want to make it ordered list, here you can make it as ordered list. Now if you will save, you can see it is giving you numbers like 1, 2 and 3. So this is how it can be there. Now I'm just knocking off this code because this was not required that when I was explaining you. Then later on what we have done, like this is simple. Next time also we have created another table only, correct? So I hope I was able to explain this to you to the fullest, and this is how you can see it was available here as well. So I hope I was able to give you a good insight about HTML language, and trust me, this is very interesting, and this is the building block of the front end development. So if you know how to actually work in HTML, other things are going to be extremely easier for you, because everywhere you're going to use some bits of HTML in some different form. So just practice a lot about it, and I hope it was interesting for you. So let's meet in the next class. Bye bye.